Hello everyone, I am Neha Kazi from Leelavati Lal Jidayal High School and College of Commerce. In our geography class today, we are going to talk about chapter number 9, Tourism, Transport and Communication of India and Brazil. So let's begin. So let's do a comparative study first of tourism in India and Brazil. So the number of foreign tourists visiting the country like India is comparatively high and Brazil it is comparatively low. And then we have the percentage of population engaged in tourism in India is high whereas in Brazil it is low. And the contribution of tourism to GDP of India is comparatively low, but Brazil, it is comparatively high. So as we can see here in front of us, students, that we have a lot of, in India, we have a lot of foreign tourists who are coming to our country. Okay, a lot of people in our country are also engaged in tourism. All right, whereas in Brazil, it is not that great. But the contribution from tourism to the GDP in India is low and in Brazil it is high. So there are a lot of people who are contributing towards the tourism sector like in GDP. Okay, so that's about India and Brazil in terms of these 3 points. Let's talk about it in detail. So we will start with the tourism in Brazil. All right. So tourism, of course, is one of the important occupations, right? Ecotourism has also recently developed, which means keeping in mind the environment and accordingly you have tourism. Okay. So here, tourist attractions. What is it that attracts the tourist in Brazil? So they have white sand beaches, they have scenic sea coast, they have beautiful islands, they have evergreen dense forests, they have varieties of species of birds and animals, there are gardens, parks, etc. So tourists do get attracted towards these things and visit Brazil. Okay, so they have famous tourist places like Brasilia, which also is the capital of Brazil, and Rio de Janeiro. All right, so we have Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro, so of course it becomes a famous tourist place. Let's talk more about tourism in India. So here India is one, tourism in India basically is one of the most important occupations. Okay, since 2010 the number of international tourists is constantly going high in India. All right, so there are a lot of people who visit India to explore the heritage, our history, to understand the culture of our country, to carry out various adventurous activities or business activities, and even to receive health services. So yoga and Ayurveda are very popular treatments in India, and people from all over the world come to India for these health services. Okay, then nowadays there's ecotourism also, like I said, which is promoted on a large scale in India as well as in Brazil. So what tourist attractions do we have here? So of course India is known for its history and culture. So we have a cultural and historical heritage. We have sculptures, we have clean sea coast, national park, bird sanctuaries, etc., which are the tourist attractions here. And of course we have the Taj Mahal also. So that was about the tourism in India and Brazil. Now let's talk about the transportation in Brazil. Okay. So now see students, if people want to come to a specific place, you need transportation for that. So there is a very good connection between tourism and transportation also, right? If you want to go from one place to the other, you need transportation. So let's talk about the transportation that's available in Brazil. So starting with waterways. So waterways have been developed on commercial basis, all right, from the mouth of river of Amazon to the mouth of river of Iquitos in Peru. So the longest international waterway can be navigated through this waterway in Brazil, all right. Water transport is also carried out in the Parana River, and there is coastal shipping which is carried out in the coastal areas in Brazil. So with this we come to know that waterways are pretty developed in Brazil. All right, let's talk about the roadways now. So roadways account for more than half of the total transportation. All right, there is high density of roadways in the eastern part of Brazil. And sparse density of roadways is found in the Amazon River basin and swampy lands. So in our previous chapters, we have already seen that Amazon River basin, there's not a lot of human settlement, and the transportation is also not developed. Okay, most of the region is inaccessible, right? So that is why here they are saying that there is sparse density of roadways in the Amazon River basin and the swampy lands. All right, so we come to know that roadways are more like pretty much again developed here, because more than half of the total transportation is carried out through roadways. Now let's talk about roadways. So roadways haven't developed a lot in Brazil, so it is developed in a very limited manner. Okay, so they are available at cheaper rates, and they are restricted to few urban tourist routes only, because we already saw in the first point in railways that they are not well developed. Okay, and coming to airways, so contribution of the airway in total transportation is less. So overall transportation that gets carried out in Brazil, airways contributes very little to it. All right, but they do have airways, right? So that's about the transportation in Brazil. Now let's talk about the transportation in India, starting with waterways. So we have rivers, canals, creeks, which are also found for interwater transport. Okay, interwater transport means within India itself, from one place to the other, small distances, right? Then waterways contribute about 1% to the country's transportation. So we come to know here that waterways actually contribute very less when we are talking about the overall contribution of transportation in India. All right, it's just 1%. So the ocean routes are used for transportation between islands in the main lead of the country. And ocean routes are also used for international transportation. Okay, so from one country to the other, not just that, but let's say from Lakshadweep Islands to the mainland, and of course Andaman Nicobar group of islands to the mainland. Okay, so for that we are using ocean routes. Then nearly 95% of India's foreign transport is carried out through ocean routes. Okay, so how much it is? 95%. That's all about the waterways, and now let's talk about the roadways. So about 85% of the total passenger traffic is facilitated by roadways. Nearly 70% of total freight traffic is facilitated by roadways again. Okay, so that's about how much roadways are contributing towards the transportation. So we can see it's pretty much a lot. Let's talk about the next one then, which is railways. So railways definitely have been important for the growth of Indian economy. We have seen that there are a lot of transportation that happens with the help of railways, be it the local trains, be it your monorail or metro trains, or even trains which go from one state to the other. All right, interstate. Okay, so railways are used on a large scale for transportation of passengers and goods. Okay, so relatively less network is found, railway network is found in the mountainous regions of north and northeast. So their railways are sparsely developed. Okay, you will not find a lot of, you will not find locals and all there. Okay, you will just have the interstate that's there, and very little railway network is there in the north and northeastern states. All right, even in the central regions of India and the arid regions in the state of Rajasthan. Okay, so where there is desert area, you will not find your railway network there. Okay, so a dense railway network is found in the North Indian plain. Because these are plains, we can very well carry out railway networks there. All right. Then talking about the airways in India. So international airways are very well developed in India, and we use internal the internal airways also, which is increasing, not just railways but as well as airways. Okay, because we have domestic flights also, and people use that on a large scale as well. Okay, so that was about transportation. Now let's talk about the official time and communication in Brazil. So here we can see that Brazil actually follows 4 time zones. Okay, so they are behind the GMT, that is Greenwich Meridian Time by 2, 3, 4, and 5 hours, because they are following 4 different time zones. Okay, but their official time zone is GMT 03. All right. Then let's talk about the communication system in Brazil. So they have landline phone services, they have mobile phone services, television is there, radio broadcasting is there, computer and internet facilities are also developed in Brazil. Telecommunication services are very well developed here. So nearly more than 45% of Brazilian population has access to internet facility. That's a lot. Then use of modern telecommunication infrastructure in the central and southern part is also there in Brazil. There is limited communication infrastructure in sparse, steep population, northern and western part. So what they are saying, where the population is not settled, where sparsely populated areas are there, there is very limited scope of communication. Okay. So there's rigid topography and vast expense are some challenges in the expansion of coverage of telecommunication services. Because the place is very huge, it is pretty difficult for them to have, telecommunication services everywhere, all right? But they are working towards it. So Brazil is developing technology for launching the best clean their satellites in space with its own rockets. So they are going there. India is already doing it. Okay. So that's about your Brazilian time and communication. Now let's talk about Indian Standard Time and communication. So here we actually are ahead of the GMT by 5 hours and 30 minutes. So even in your phone, when you're setting up a time, you can see 5:30, which is written there. That's what it says here. Okay, so the communication in India, so obviously we have everything advanced here. We have mobile phones, we have good communication network, internet facilities is there, satellites are there. So everything has remarkably increased in India. Now you go towards the interior parts of India also, you will get good network. Okay, that's because we are increasing, we are developing the telecommunication services all over the place. All right. So India is one of the largest users of smartphone and internet. Here we have so many network providers also which are claiming to give us the best network. All right, even in the interior parts. Then India has successfully launched its own satellites in space. So very recently also we had seen the Mars mission, we had seen the Moon mission. We are launching our satellites in the space as well. Okay, India is individually doing that. Not just that, but India is also launching satellites for other countries who cannot do it on their own. So that's all about India and Brazil in terms of tourism, transportation, and communication. So this was a complete summary of the chapter. I hope you all have understood it. Thank you so much.